Hello, brothers and sisters! The best way to answer the question what to choose, a house or an apartment, is to try both options first. Just spend a while enjoying the smoke and dust of the nearest highway, spend a few days in the traffic, listen to the screams of neighbors through the wall, and then go closer to the nature and enjoy seasonal adventures, cleaning the patch from the snow, moving the lawn, do some gardening, try to fix some leaking pipes. You are totally free to choose. But let's go more deeply through the pros and cons of both variants. And let's start with the most painful thing: money. As strange as it may sound, an apartment is cheaper than a house, even if at a first glance you think you're definitely overpaying for a concrete box in a human anthill. But what you're buying by default in an apartment are the ready-to-use utilities, but in your own new house you'll have to take care of everything with your own hands or with the help of hired professionals. And believe me, the numbers you hear won't make you happy. But in a house, I will get freedom and independence, you will say. And most likely in your head, there's already a picture of a beautiful house with a perfect garden and apple trees, with the laughter of your children playing on the lawn and a dog lounging in a strip of sunlight on the terrace. You mentally imagine yourself going out into the garden in the morning with a cup of coffee, listening to the birds and inhaling the air of such a long-awaited freedom. Yep, why not? But in terms of utilities, apartments are still winning. Cleaning services, plumbers, electricians and housekeeping will help you to solve all the problems in your apartment building. And all this is usually included in a monthly payment. And all of this usually you won't have in a private house. Or rather, you will, by doing everything yourself or with the help of professionals who unfortunately will cost you many times more than a monthly apartment payment. However, if you still truly passionate about gardening, have always dreamed of living closer to nature and aren't afraid of difficulties, a house can really give you that long-awaited freedom. And what's important, your neighbors will be separated from you not only by a thin brick wall, but by a whole plot of land and a fence, and you will no longer feel that bass's vibration from their home disco so close to your bed at night. Also, on your own plot of land in your dream home, you really can do pretty much whatever you want. You can demolish walls and add floors, you can sow the entire area with grass and grill steaks right in the yard at any time of the day. You can even set up an outdoor cinema under the stars. Anything that comes to mind you can do without asking anyone. This is a freedom that is unavailable to residents of apartment buildings. Sure, there are limitations of another kind. If you suddenly want to travel, you cannot just lock up your house and leave like an apartment. You cannot shut off the heating for a long time in a house because it may result in house damage in colder climates and you will have to deal with mold in hot areas. You cannot leave a water pump unattended or any other equipment which needs frequent maintenance. And one more big problem. Even security cameras do not guarantee safety from robbers in a private house. Apartments, by the way, usually are much better protected. According to statistics, robbers much less often break into apartments. It's simply because everything is much more visible in a multi-apartment building and everyone is more or less familiar to each other. Plus, there are closed yards, parking lots, surveillance cameras, security guards. So in general, if you are concerned about safety, an apartment is a much safer option. Fast and expensive internet connection, the ability to get to any part of the city at any time, the presence of nearby underground bus stops, favorite shops, emergency medical care, and in general any medical care. All this is also about apartments. The infrastructure in suburbs is often not so developed, and without a car, it is usually a problem to get around. However, along with that there are also environmental issues. The quality of air in the city, especially in the metropolis, is usually not the best, while in the suburbs, among trees and small buildings, you can breathe deeply without the risk of getting lung cancer in 1 week. And this is important not only for you but also for your pets. It is much easier to have a cat, a dog, or even a crocodile in your own house. Animals are happy, you are happy, sounds like a perfect plan. And also, if you are planning or have a children, their happy childhood definitely needs some private lawn space and a forest nearby maybe. They will be more active, healthier and more developed to regular physical activity. However, fresh air will not help school-age children pass exams and enter college, because education in the suburbs is not as developed as in cities. But in general, the need for traditional education, especially higher education, is a very controversial issue nowadays. Speaking about the more remote places, there may also be problems with road quality, especially in the winter season in colder climates. Sometimes you may have to dig your own way to the highway through the snow with your own hands. On the other hand, things can also go wrong in an apartment. For example, in case most of your apartment building inhabitants voted for the installation of new gates or parking lots or whatever, but you think this is a crazy or unnecessary solution, you still have to pay for this option. And sometimes when it's cold and you don't have a control of an essential heating temperature in your building, you can freeze or suffer from heat in your own apartment. In general, you can compare energy for a long time. The above is only a small, most obvious part of the iceberg called housing choice. For someone, the feeling of your own space and freedom that a house gives is more important, and others are going for the security and mobility of a city apartment. The main thing is to remember that the decision is yours to make, and your decision should be based on your own feelings rather than advice from a stranger with a funny accent. After all, it doesn't matter where you live as long as your loved ones are nearby. Wishing you luck and harmony. See you soon.